was in his second year in law school at Stanford. So, in Palo Alto, that's where I was born. He was there. He had recently come back from World War II, and a lot of his flying buddies were stationed in Moffett Field. So they tell the story, if you know that Bay Area, if you know, so they tell the story about his buddies would buzz the house, because they have a house in Palo Alto, and that's where. So that was, he flew PB-Wise, which is it's a naval seaplane, which is, that was a transport. He was like a truck driver. PB-Wise are the seaplane. The other person recently that passed who also flew seaplanes was Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett was a big seaplane guy. As far as I know, Dad was not a parrot head. But he liked things tropical. My dad, he played the ukulele. And when I was a kid, sorry. Yeah, so at our house we had close tropical nights. In our backyard, everybody in the neighborhood, we grew up in Chatsworth, which if you know the San Fernando Valley, that's way out in the burbs. My dad I think he was one of the first super commuters. He drove to downtown Los Angeles every day from Chatsworth. I don't know how he did it, that's crazy. But he had, when all the neighbors were putting in swimming pools, he put in a putting green. He was absolutely addicted to golf. So he trucked in the sand and bought a green mower, and he was just an adamant golfer. He got me into fishing. I didn't see there was it's sport fishing in the Florida Keys. I'm not sure exactly where he found bone fishing and tarpon fishing, but I enjoyed that a lot. So he took me fishing a couple times. And we enjoyed that. He liked hunting. I think he took me duck hunting and pheasant hunting a few times with his good friend Mark True. I don't think anybody remembers Mark. But that was as we were driving down through Bakersfield yesterday. I said that's where I went duck hunting about 1 million years ago. It was back in the 60s. So, he was a hunter, but there was no elk heads on the wall, nothing like that. Some of my favorites. Okay, so.
They have duck heads on the wall.
I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to put them all out here. But Jack, we both had the same heart surgery on the same day 5 years ago. So, the scar? I like the sport my scar. He was grew up in so we were in Chatsworth. Everybody was smoking dope at the time. I remember one time, my mom came down the hall and smelled marijuana and banged on my doors, and she freaked out. She absolutely freaked out. My dad talked her down, and then he came to me and he said, "Jeff, don't smoke in the house." He paid for my first year of college at Cal. The proviso was, you go, you get good grades, and I'll pay your tuition and your board. I was not ready for college my first year, so I didn't do well. And at the end of my first year, he said, "Okay, our agreement was you do well, and I'll pay for it," and you didn't. So you owe me for tuition and room and board with that first year. Taught me a valuable lesson. This is back when tuition at the University of California, Berkeley was $212 a quarter. So it was $700 a year. It was not like a lot of money. But, he asked me to pay that. Dad was not, I'm a computer scientist by education. My dad was not, I think he got computer savvy, but he didn't start out that way. You guys all knew him then. I guess he was pretty pretty good, he learned how to type, or not, I don't know, he did, okay. Because I remember him coming to me one time and said, Jeff, what's the difference between hardware and software? Well, that's a hard thing, yeah, that's my favorite story. Anyway, it was great. You know, he was a great father to me. And, yeah, it's like I didn't win. So, thanks. Okay,
Thank
good.
you.